Hello, everyone. I'm home. I've been a little under the weather, but I'm back. I got an early morning text the other day from a friend, and she sent me this picture of some stuff she had simmering on the stove. So I made me a little concoction, and it did smell wonderful. And I wanted to wish you all a Happy New Year. I ended up putting all these things in the pot, and then I sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon, and I put some cloves, some whole cloves in. And I heard that cinnamon should be sprinkled on your doorstep and kind of blow out the bad vibes from last year. I don't know if that works. But I spent New Year's Day begrudgingly putting away Christmas stuff. And of my decorations, I was kind of going through and picking out the things that were still wintry or snowman-like, anything that I could leave out. I took my sleigh apart and put the Santa away, and I thought, you know what, a sleigh could be left out all winter because you go sledding and sleighing in the snow, right? So I just didn't want to put it away. So I filled it with some greenery and some pine cones, berries, some halos. I tucked in a few little cookie cutters and a little copper jello mold that's got a heart for Valentine's Day, which will be coming up soon. And I just left it out. And then, of course, my little snowman head, I left him out. He's the one I got in the free bin, and I just grunged him up a little bit. And then my Kim Swaney snowman, definitely want to leave him out. He stays out all the time downstairs, but I'm going to leave him upstairs. And I wanted to show you some close-ups of her grunging technique. Kim really knows how to grunge things so nice. And his little eyes just have a personality all their own. He's got his own little expression, and I just love him. Then I realized he didn't have a scarf on, and when Kim gave this to me, it had a scarf. So I went and ripped me a piece of fabric off of that Joseph A. Banks shirt and made another scarf for him. And then a friend, I was telling you about the bottle brush idea on top of a candle holder. A friend gave me that little Christmas tree, so I stuck it on there. Now, I made some of these as orders, and this one didn't quite make the cut, so he's going to be mine. I've already sent the others out, and I got to make some kind of a little hat for him, and he'll be all wonderful. And then I just did leave a little bit of my greenery that I had hung on the sides of my cabinets. And this basket's by my back door. I told you before, I put little packages in it, and my old-fashioned Christmas books. Well, I didn't really want to let go of that. I kind of like the way it looked stacked up on all those boxes. So I ended up taking a shallow bowl and turned it upside down and gave it a little height. And then I put a little evergreen wreath in. This was one that I thrifted, but it's real soft. It feels good. And I put some faux fruit and pears and a few gourds and the little cinnamon broom my friend gave me at Christmas. Now, I thrifted this the other day. The girl gave it to me for $0.25 because she didn't know what it was, and I said, well, it's a pear. And it was kind of made out of styrofoam. It looked like they'd stuck it into an arrangement, and it's real lightweight, but it's huge. This is one of my regular stone pears, and it shows how big it is. So I took that and I added it to my basket, and I just like that little basket sitting by the back door, and I'm going to leave it there for a while. Then I started taking the Christmassy looking things off of my little candle box, and my little Santa, I had to put him away. Once Christmas is over, I do put my Santas away. So I added this little sugar shaker where the Santa had been. It's not quite as pretty, but at the top, I ended up taking the bell out, and I put one of my little birds, and I thought he looked awful sweet, and I left a little bit of frosted greenery on there, just trying to make it look wintry. And then Santa, he had to go away. I hate putting him away. I love him so much. And, of course, some of them I leave downstairs. And my feather tree base, the old lamp base, put it away. And my feather tree, I really hate to put them away, but they're being tucked away. And then I was thrifting the other day, and I found this little grapevine tree with some greenery on it, and it had one strand of lights, and I put another strand on it. I got it for 99 cents on clearance at one of the thrift stores. And yeah, I'm putting Christmas stuff away, and I'm bringing home another Christmas tree, but I decided I was going to make it a Valentine tree and put it on my kitchen counter. And this is the scraps from the red tablecloth. And then these are Taco Bell wrappers that I found in my husband's truck. And I wadded them up real tight. They're just like brown thin paper, and smoothed them out. And my idea was to cut little hearts out of the different colors of paper and a little red heart and stack them together. And then I took an ink pen, like a felt marker, and made sewing lines around the edge so you don't really have to sew, and put a button on. Now you can sew it or you can glue it. And then I stained them and grunged them up with some shoe polish, and I put them all over the little tree, and they just add the perfect little touch. Now I'll make some more, but I made about 4 and put on the tree so you could see what it would look like. And then I cut out some little red hearts and I ironed them with some starch and just tucked those into the tree. And it just looks really pretty for Valentine's Day, which I'm not ready to decorate for yet. But I wanted to show you guys in case you want to do something like this. You can take scraps of just about anything and make decorations. You don't have to spend a lot and you don't have to put a lot into it. Then I have this little heart-shaped wooden bowl on my counter that had onions in it. And I took a little Valentine card and a few berries. And then I got my cookie cutters out. And I had a heart-shaped cookie cutter, a couple of them. And added a little piece of the greenery. Then look at this tin, guys. I found this at the thrift store the other day. It's all my vintage postcards in a tin. All my fruit. I couldn't believe it. These are Catherine Klein images from her postcards. It's a huge tin. It's in really good shape. So I'm putting my cookie cutters, my excess amount of cookie cutters, in this tin. Then I thrifted these beautiful ruby red wine glasses. I got 4 of them. And my niece and I were having a little toast on New Year's Eve, and I went to wash them, and I think they're flash painted. And the cocoa bar is going to happen, folks. I decided to set it out because we're going to get a big snowstorm this weekend, supposedly. And my husband and I will sit home and stay in and drink hot cocoa. So, since all the Christmas decorations went away, it was really bland in my kitchen. So I went ahead and put out my cocoa bar, and it's going to sit there. And I want to thank you guys for enjoying the Elvis video. I got some really good comments, but I'm going to be honest with you. I really thought the Elvis video was going to push me over the edge. I thought it was going to get me a ton of views and a ton of likes and comments, and it just kind of fell flat. But my husband reminded me that I put it out on Christmas Eve, and he said people are busy. They don't have time to sit down and watch a half-hour video on Christmas Eve, and that's true. And then I accidentally deleted it. I was looking at it, and I hit a button and deleted it. So I put it back on, and it's catching up a little bit, but I wanted to tell you that I said in that picture there of that album that Elvis had beautiful gospel songs and beautiful Christian songs, which are the same thing. I meant Christmas songs. But I had more fun working on that Elvis project than anything ever. And I thought I'd take you on a little Christmas Eve nighttime drive past a little historical village that's in a town nearby us. It's a little village that's very old. And in the past, the man who used to own it used to give tours, and I used to go into that big house, and they would have, it would all be set up like the 1800s, and he had beautiful antiques. And the church is a 2-story church that a lot of people get married in, and it's just beautiful. It's called The Village, and when it's open, it's really interesting to go through. I don't even know if it's open anymore, but it used to be, and I love to go through it. So we drove by it the other night on Christmas Eve, and I thought you guys would enjoy seeing it because it's so special and so beautiful. It looks like it's straight out of the 1800s, which it is. And I want to thank you guys. Join me on Instagram, MarcyJo631. I've got so many things lined up for the new year. Now that I'm getting my Christmas put away, it'll be time to do all kinds of other things. And please like and subscribe. And I love you guys from the bottom of my heart.